this up when you want to go ahead and open this up in prayer?
Absolutely. Dear Lord, thank you for gathering us here today to study your word. And please help us learn what you want us to learn today. Amen.
Amen. All right, so today we are in Proverbs chapter 6, and we should get done by 10 o'clock. If not, or not 10 o'clock, by 11 o'clock. If not, we'll just call it early. But anyway, I don't have much. I at least got the scriptures on here. I did last night. Did a little bit of going over, at least reading it, and went over Enduring Word a little bit. So we're just going to go over each slide. We'll discuss, and then we'll just continue on. So I got
All right.
little to no preparation, but I did do some prepping for this. So all right, Brenda, you want to go ahead and read this? Brenda, you and John, you guys can alternate on slides. And if Cecilia pops in, we'll let him join us.
Okay.
My son, if you have put up security for your neighbor, if you have shaken hands in pledge for a stranger, you have been trapped by what you said, ensnared by the words of your mouth. Oh,
Okay, I want to.
wow.
Yeah, I'm curious of what you guys got because what I got and what Enduring Word got was two kind of going in two opposite directions, but think they both kind of pertain to this. But I want to see what your guys' thoughts are before I give you my thoughts and Enduring Word's thoughts.
Okay, my son, if you have put, I don't know. No, don't talk. I'm not sure.
The thing I can think of that I've compare it with is when you when somebody takes out a loan and you co-sign it for them, you are basically trapped if they don't pay because you have to pay for that loan. That's what that sounds like to me that it's saying.
Okay, that's interesting you say that because you line up closer to what Enduring Word does than what I did. What my thoughts were was basically if you make a promise to somebody, keep your promise, keep your word. Which I guess in a way kind of still along the same line of what you said. But Enduring Word, I'm just going to read what I have because like I said, there ain't no sense of copy and paste and all that. But basically it said Solomon what warns against agreeing to pay a debt for someone else. So, I mean, co-signing, you're still kind of agreeing to pay a debt for somebody else. I watched Enduring Word on this and all this, and basically what they're talking about is giving somebody an open credit or something along that line. So basically, agreeing to pay a debt for somebody is what Enduring Word's saying. My thoughts when I read this and we'll get into it in the next slide. It'll kind of still bring us closer to what we're talking about. Is which I thought my thoughts were on this were basically if you make a promise, keep a promise. Which I guess in theory that still kind of makes sense here too, though.
With that thing because in essence when you co-sign for a loan for somebody you're promising to pay that loan when they can't if they can't or they don't want to.
Yeah. So I guess that when I read this, I wasn't thinking financially, but I guess apparently, according to Enduring Word, this is more financial than just promising to do something for somebody. Which, I mean, like I said, in theory, I kind of see how both of them kind of work out.
It's kind of like when a friend I used to have a friend and she couldn't have a phone in her own house because former roommate had destroyed had kind of gotten her in debt with the phone company and she couldn't afford to pay it. So she once asked me if I would put a phone into her apartment in my name. And I was just a young Christian then, and I thought, well, that's helping a person out. So I did. And she had promised that she would not get me in debt like this former roommate, but what she did was she got me 3 times more in debt with the phone company because he got her in debt $400. She got me in debt $1,200 before she told me she wasn't paying it.
Oh, wow.
And I had to pay that all back.
Yeah. I mean, I've helped friends out before in situations like that where I'm just not going to say names. I mean, Brandon, you probably know which friend I'm talking about, at least one of the two. Um, but, I've helped them out before with, can't have a bill in their name because they owe so much. So I put my name, but I tell them, I tell them, it's like, if I'm putting my name, you need to make sure you pay it. Um, and one friend, I probably done it more than I should have. But when you're friends with somebody, and they're good friends. Sometimes it's too easy to fall in that trap, and sometimes you need tough love, and which I have a hard time doing is saying no, knowing that they're not going to, their intentions are to pay something, but in theory they don't always follow through. Not that they intend to, not pay, but it happens.
Some of the this kind of problem, we have to learn what their character is and find out, well, how many times has this person done this and yeah, done this, because if they've done it more than what they did it to you, chances are good to great they're going to do it again.
You know. And then you got some situations too where, they fell through some hard times before, and sometimes the past comes back to bite us in the butt. So I mean, I think there is sometimes that's okay to do that for somebody, but I think it's one of those things you got to be very cautious when you go helping somebody when promising to, take financial responsibility for somebody.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and continue on. Um, so you try to get moving through this, but I'm trying not to rush it either. All right, Johnny. So you want to read this?
Okay. Says, so do this, my son, to free yourself, since you have fallen into your neighbor's hands to to the point of exhaustion, and give our neighbor no rest, allow no sleep to our eyes, no slumber to your eyelids. Free yourself like a gazelle from the other, or from the land of your hunter, like a bird from the near of the flower.
This kind of lines up with what we just read previously and discussed. It just
Just
goes
say
a little bit
no.
deeper.
Just you gotta learn to say no.
Yeah, I mean, I get you there. It's sometimes as a Christian, no is not exactly an easy thing to do.
When you're good friends with somebody and you see that they're having problems, you just want to reach out and help them.
Yeah, and sometimes it's okay to help them, and sometimes the help you give them may not be necessarily the help that they want. Because sometimes the help could be a simple no. I'm sorry. I can't do that. see what more.
But remember this though, not everyone is your friend. So I think that that's where it lines up too. Not everyone is your friend like they say you are. Like they could say, "Oh, I'm your best friend." Like I've had someone
Yeah.
like that, and I've ended that a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this verse is probably saying too.
Yeah.
Not everybody's your friend, and I blocked a couple.
Yeah. Um,
That's
no,
wise. I never really thought about it that.
yeah. So I didn't really have anything on this one. Like I said, this was pretty much tacked on to what we just discussed, except for here he's just saying, so free yourself. Yeah, just telling yourself, free yourself.
Like like it goes with what Brenda just said earlier, but it also says like not everybody's true. Not everybody's legit like they say they are.
Mm-hmm.
They can lie to you. Don't fall for the lie.
Yeah.
Yep. That's all I got.
Okay. Yeah, it's just saying, if you promise to pay a debt for somebody and they don't, basically it's saying pay that debt, do the right thing and take care of this debt and do it quickly. Well, maybe the next slide says do it quickly, but it does say, um, free yourself like a gazelle from the hands
Good.
of a
Let me
hunter.
see if he's gonna jump on.
Okay. All right,
It probably
we'll give him a second before we go on. Before we go on to the next slide, I might look at enduring word on this because there is something about free yourself from a gazelle from the hands of a hunter like a bird from the snare of a fowler. What's your guys' thoughts on that? What is a gazelle?
A gazelle is a fast antelope, known for its
Oh,
fawn
okay.
colored coat and graceful movements.
So that's not exactly what I was trying to find.
what it's saying here.
A
What is
gazelle
actually
is basically like a picture of it looked like a deer, basically. Here's what. Oh, come on. What is a gazelle? Here, I'll just let you hear what it says.
A gazelle is a swift, graceful antelope found in.
Really? It says gazelles
a
are.
gazelle is like an antelope. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
They are known for their speed, reaching up to 60 miles per hour in short bursts and sustain 30 to 40. That's pretty fast. I
It's
mean,
saying this verse is saying escape sin. Don't fall for a sin. Escape it.
yeah.
That's what it's saying.
Okay.
That's what I try to say.
All right. I want to. There we go. Verse 3 through 5. The gazelle part, the hunter, is a part I want to look at real quick. Gives yourself. Humble yourself. Deliver yourself. Oh, here we go. Deliver yourself. Deliver yourself like a gazelle from the hands of a hunter. A gazelle would do anything to escape the hunter, and a bird would do anything to escape the faller. Solomon tried to communicate the urgency his son should have in escaping responsibility for the debt of others. Basically, as I was saying, is as we were basically saying, like you were saying, sometimes the best result for helping somebody would be to tell them no and
Yeah.
basically not take responsibility for that. Okay, so that's all we got for that. Did was Cecilial able to get on?
Still waiting, but you can keep going.
Okay. All right, Brenda, do you believe you're up this time? Yeah, I like this next part coming up. I like these parts coming up next. We might wind up with a good discussion on some
I
of this.
can't.
Person in summer and gathers its fruit at harvest. Wise ant.
Yeah.
Go to the end. Sluggard. Consider the ways. Be wise. No commander, no overseer, no warrior.
What I want you guys to think here is think about an ant. Think about what ants do. I'm trying to think. There's a story of the ant and oh, I can't remember the other one.
Ants get on. Ants are like an army, I guess, right? They help each other.
Yeah, but that's not quite the point we're looking at. But yeah, they part of a team. Think about the what how much an ant can lift. Think about the type of work ants do.
They can lift leaves. They can lift. Uh, I think they
Lift
can
at
lift
least
half their body weight or something like that.
Uh, Not half their weight. I think they can lift. Here, you know what? That's partial. How much can an ant lift?
An ant can lift
One and a
between
half
10 and
times their.
50.
Okay, I knew it was more than their body weight. It's one and a half times their body weight. So if an ant weighs, let's say, 1 gram, they can lift 1.5 grams. Imagine a human that's 100 pounds can lift 150 pounds. Could you, Johnny? Well, okay. I guess this is okay. Could you, Johnny? Could you imagine me or Brenda picking somebody up our size and somebody picking? Can you imagine me picking up somebody 1.5 times my size? Now I weigh roughly 160 pounds, so let's just bring it up to 200 pounds. You think me weighing about 160 pounds could lift somebody that's 200 pounds? It's possible, but it'd be tough.
Yeah.
do it all the time in the nursing home.
Yeah, yeah, it could be done, but I'm just I don't know. Maybe that's not a good example I'm trying to come up with.
You would need to get you would need to get a back support thing for that.
Hmm.
You don't want to give out your back, no.
Oh, this is what
Like
okay. What I got out of this is go to the ant, your slugger, consider its ways, and be wise. So think about how an ant moves. It has no commander, no overseer or ruler. So my verse 7 to me that says be self-motivated. You don't rely on somebody telling you. Now we're looking at work wise, job wise. We're just gonna look at like if you had a job, should you like me? I'm a janitor, and I'm still learning. But do you think I should wait for my boss to tell me I need to sweep the classrooms, or do you think I need to go ahead and just sweep the classrooms and I have to be told to do it?
maybe you should just maybe you should just sweep them and without being told.
Yeah.
I don't
And
know.
that's what we need to do. If it's something that we know needs done, we need to go ahead and do it. We shouldn't have to wait for a supervisor or somebody to tell us to do a task. I'm one of those people too that if I know something needs done or could be done, sometimes it's important to ask to do something, and other times, like I said, well, I'm new, so I guess I can't really use that too much as an example. But a job, okay, you're working fast food, okay? It's low time. And you know you're getting paid by the hour, and you see your coworker sitting there playing on their phone waiting for an order to come through. What do you think would be the right thing to do? Play on your phone or sweep the floors, clean the countertops, and stuff like that. Get stuff cleaned up and straightened up and stuff like that.
Sweep the floors, clean the countertops.
And you agree that you should do that and not have to be told to do that?
Yep.
Okay. And that's kind of thing I was looking at. Is basically we want to be like an ant. We want to be self motivated. We want to, you should be able to do a job without being told to do it. Now there's certain times that, especially if you're new to a job, yeah, you may need to be told to do something or may need to ask what needs done and stuff like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. But we need to be hard workers, not just do something. We need to be A worker that's going to go above and beyond, not just do something because it's their job.
Yep.
I'm just thinking you should do it anyway.
So, yeah. Oh, this was another
Yep.
part I wanted to look at. There's a story. It's the ant and not the bee, but something how the ant works hard and it stores up for the winter. Then the other thing doesn't, and the winter comes by and asks the ant for food or whatever, and the ant says, "Why didn't you store up for the winter?" or something like that. I can't remember the story, but something along that line is what this is.
Oh, isn't it like a kids cartoon? Or like
Something like
a
that. It's like a kid story. Um,
Oh, I don't even know that one.
But I know something about the ant and the lazy. I'm trying to remember what is the story of the ant storing up for the winter.
The story, also known as The Ant and the
Grasshopper.
Grasshopper,
That's what it was.
is about an ant who works hard to store food for winter, while a grasshopper plays all summer. When winter comes, the hungry grasshopper asks the ant for food. But the ant reminds him to prepare for the future.
Okay, that's what it was. I knew there was a story. I just couldn't remember. It's the ant and the grasshopper. That's what it was.
Is that Chat GBT?
It's what?
Is that Chat GBT or is that Google?
That was Google.
Oh, because it sounds different.
Yeah, yeah, it was Google, and I asked. Sometimes it'll automatically say. Um,
Oh, okay.
So that was my thoughts. I'm not trying to keep dragging this out. Brenda, you got any other thoughts on this?
Like also the three little pigs.
Yeah.
The little pigs, they built their houses out of just the cheapest material they could, while the third one labored and did it right, took his time and did it right. So then when the wolf came and he blew down the two little pigs' homes, they had to run to their third pig because he built his out of bricks.
Yeah.
And it's all because they just wanted to hurry up and get it done so they could play. But he took his time to do it right so it wouldn't just blow over. Haste makes waste. I guess haste makes waste, they say.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll go ahead and continue on here.
How long? Wait, did Johnny read the last time?
Wait, no, yeah, I think it's my turn.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. How long will you be? How long will you lie there, you you sluggard, when you will get up from your sleep? A little slumber, a little folding of the hands, and poverty will come on to you like a thief, and sar- scarcity like a slumbered man.
Okay.
Um, I kind of need help with this one. Can't
Okay.
think of
All
anything.
right. Sluggard. What do you know about a sluggard? Or do you know anything about a sluggard? Or a sloth? I
Like a
guess kind of
like
like a
a
sloth.
slug,
What is a sluggard? Okay.
sluggard.
All right. I don't want to tell you what that means because then that's going to kind of tell you what this is talking about. All right. A sloth. What do you know about a sloth? Do you know
A
anything about a
sloth.
sloth?
They're slow.
Okay. Yeah, they're slow. There's another word that's used for sloth.
They're
There's a certain word I'm looking for.
um
Okay, let's think really closely. Let's listen to some of this. When you get up from your sleep, a little slumber, a little fold of the hands to the rest. They're talking about a certain type of person, and remember back to the story of the ant and the grasshopper. Now we're not looking at the ant, we're more or less looking at the grasshopper.
Uh
This dictionary, a sluggard is a lazy, sluggish person.
oh,
That- That's what, according to Google.
tired. I guess they're tired.
No, it says a
I
No,
don't
lazy,
know.
yeah.
sluggish.
Brenda pretty much just gave you the word we're looking for.
Oh,
Basically,
they're
somebody
they're
that doesn't want to
lazy.
work.
They're
There
lazy.
you go. That's what we're looking for.
Lazy. They're
Lazy. Now, what happens according to verse 11? What is the outcome of a lazy person?
lazy person. And poverty will come onto you like a thief, and scarcity like a sluggard person. Poverty will come to you like a thief. It means I think the longer you're lazy. Okay, I think I'm gonna need help with this one.
Okay, think about financially. You got a lazy person and you got a hard worker. Think about their wallets. Think about how much money each person has. About how much a lazy person has and how much the ant
Oh,
person has.
a lazy person has no money or little money,
Okay,
and a wealthy person has a lot more money.
there you go. Now, I want you to think long and hard about this. How many, or do you know of any lazy person that is actually rich or is pretty wealthy?
Do I know a lazy person?
Yeah, can you think of lazy people that actually have money?
I can't think of anybody.
Okay. Can you think of hard workers that have money?
Mm. I got a few truck
Okay.
drivers.
There you go. See, there you go. You're bringing my point exactly. Basically, those that are lazy are typically poor and hurting. And again, I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go where my thought was going because I'm trying to watch my words. But typically, not always, but no, most of the time, a lazy person is going to be struggling because they don't have a lot of money versus the people that are like the ant that are hardworking. Yeah, they may struggle, but they're able to get by because they're able to work and do what they need to do to get what they need and get by.
Yeah.
And then this is what Enduring Word had to say on this. Solomon asked the lazy man to give a count for his ways.
Oh yeah, sloths are lazy because they do sleep most of the time.
Yeah,
Forgot about that.
little sleepy, little. I want to get Brenda's thoughts on this because a little sleepy, little slumber is as one of my favorite verses, but for some reason my brain is freezing on this. But I know it's very important. A little sleep, a little slumber. I'm gonna get Brenda's thoughts, and I'm gonna see what Enduring Word says because I know it said something about that. You still there,
Are
Brenda?
so lazy
Oh, no, no.
they will sleep all day. Well, your body only requires like 8 hours of sleep to to regenerate itself.
Yeah,
So you don't really need to sleep all day because you get nothing done. But if you sleep through the night, 8 hours, you get up, you're regenerated, you're ready to go to work. And if you go to work, you're going to earn money. If you don't, you're going to find yourself in poverty. I don't understand a little folding of the hands to rest. I don't understand that
Okay.
much.
We'll come to that one in a minute, but I like what you just said, Brenda. You know, how 8 hours of sleep. I want to go kind of the other direction on this because we're talking a little sleep, a little slumber. Um, which you're talking, you want 8 hours. You don't want too much sleep. I want to go the opposite direction for a minute because I've caught myself in this spot a few times. Okay, typically 7, 8 hours is a healthy amount of sleep. What about that person that does 4 to 6 hours of sleep a night? What's your thoughts on something like that and somebody that, runs on less sleep or only gets 4 to 6 hours? Do you think they're going to be as productive as somebody gets 7 to 8 hours of sleep? You think they're going to be more productive, less productive, or just as productive? Now, granted, it's different from person to person, but we're just talking an average person.
Night, they go to bed at 3 or 4 o'clock, 8 o'clock. By the afternoon, they have to take a nap because they're tired so much.
Yeah. Um, yeah, typically they drain themselves a lot quicker than somebody would get 8 hours. This is coming from personal experience, and I think God kind of woke me up one Sunday on this and showed me how, maybe get less than 7 to 8 hours of sleep on a normal is that's all right every once in a while, but you don't want to do it in a normal because if you're used to 7, 8 hours of sleep and then you start trying to do less than that a night, you might find yourself waking up on the floor trying to figure out what just happened. True experience. You can ask Brenda, Johnny. She'll verify for this. That's exactly what happened when you run on less sleep. Because I think that's part of what my problem was. Because I don't know if you've seen my picture or not, but was it last Sunday? No, was it last Sunday or 2 Sundays? No, it was 2 Sundays ago. I cracked my head open because I went to the bathroom and looked in the mirror and like, what just happened? And my head was busted wide open. And I
I
thought,
didn't see your picture.
Oh wow.
so what you saying, Brenda?
I said I didn't see that picture.
Yeah. Well, I went, put it this way, long story short, I went to church that Sunday like nothing happened. And I'm like, I'm alright. And I wound up going to the hospital and getting stitches, and apparently I must have had a concussion because I don't remember the fall. But my story leading, the only reason I'm bringing that up is because we don't want to get too little sleep, um, which a little sleep, a little some, which means you want to get the right amount. You don't want to get too little sleep or too much sleep. I'm losing my train of thought because we're looking a little. How long? Oh, come on. I know it says how long.
You know, well, so I've heard people say that you sleep a third of your life away. And and when I sat down, I started thinking about it. There's 24 hours a day, and you break that up into 8-hour increments. 16 hours are daytime, and then the 8 hours would be at night. So you literally are, if you're sleeping 8 hours a night, you literally are sleeping your life, a third of your life away.
Yeah.
But that's how God made us. He knew we would need sleep. he knew we would need rest.
Yeah. Just like that's why Sundays, we need a day of now. It's also a day of worship, but we also need a day of rest because I'm also speaking from true experience. Sundays, Lord, forgive me, but here comes confession. Sundays are usually my lazy days, and Sundays feels like are the days that I make up for the rest of the week that I may not always get the right amount of sleep or whatever. And I'm sitting in church on Sundays, and there's been a few Sundays that here comes confession. I kind of doze off and absorb the message. Um, and that's why we need a day of rest because if I didn't get those Sundays where I'm just relaxing and I continue to do like I'm doing, once again, we'll come across that situation where you may wake up on the floor trying to figure out what the heck just happened because you didn't allow your body enough sleep and your body's trying to catch up and you're pushing your body harder than what you should. The next thing you know, and you're like, what just happened? Like I said, I'm taking this crack in my head open as God opening my eyes to, dude, I've been telling you to slow down. Now I'm forcing you. You either slow down or I'm going to make you slow down. Because if I don't do something, if I don't let that open my eyes, I can wind up 6 feet under because who knows what's going to happen next time that happens. Because as PB
Yep.
said, I live by myself. I have nobody to call for help or whatever. So if that were to happen again and I don't wake up, nobody may know I'm gone for days. Nobody may know anything for days until somebody comes to check up on me. So, and I'm not trying to talk about myself. I'm just trying to use that as an example because to me that was a huge eye opener. But I want to go back to a little sleep, a little slumber. I want to look at enduring word on this. Solomon imagined the lazy man saying this. He claimed that he only needs a little sleep. Now we're talking somebody who sleeps 12 plus hours, not just somebody who sleeps 8 hours, but actually needs to work more. Basically saying, instead of sleeping 12 hours and working 4 hours, why don't you sleep 8 hours and work 8 hours? And I want to bring back up what Brenda said. You sleep 8 hours, you're sleeping a third of your day away. Okay, well, you work 8 hours, so you're working a third of your life. Roughly, minus the weekends, but roughly working a third of your life. A third of the day, okay? We're just going to use a day because we don't want to use your life. So you sleep a third of your day, you work a third of your day. Look, you still got a whole third of your day to do whatever, to eat, watch TV, do something, to just enjoy life. Now, we need to give 10% of that to God. So, so we don't quite have a third, but we still have a good quarter, or not a quarter's less than a third, but we still got quite a bit of free time. Because if we have 8 hours of sleep, 8 hours to work, we have 8 hours of free time. Well, out of that 8 hours, we should easily be able to give God 30 minutes to an hour out of that time easily. Because we're only taking maybe a half hour, an hour of that in eating. So we've still got like 6 hours of freedom.
Mhm.
Unless you're like me and you work all the time, but then you got no time for freedom, or maybe an hour or two if you're lucky, depending on what you give yourself. But that's my choice. That's not. I'm not being forced to do that. That's my choice. But I'm the type of person. If I'm not working, I'm just watching TV. So I'd rather make use out of my time. And I keep rambling, and I'm not trying to do that. So, unless you guys got something else, we'll continue on. I know I need to learn to shut my mouth more.
No, you good.
we'll go ahead and continue on because we're only about halfway done and we got 15 minutes. So, 12.
Winks viciously with his eye, signals with his feet, and motions with his fingers. He plots evil with deceit in his heart. He always stirs up conflict. Therefore, disaster will overtake in an instant. He will suddenly be destroyed without remedy. Basically, anybody who causes trouble is eventually going to be met with karma.
Oh, I don't need to say anything, Brenda. You just took the words right out of my. You just took the words right off my notes, almost word for word. Because my words were, "Those that cause trouble and wreak havoc on others will be destroyed." I like your wording better, but you took the words right out of my mouth. So I don't need to say anything this time. All right, John.
What
All right, go ahead.
basically karma, everything you do. Well, it's like kind of like, I don't know where it is in the Bible. I just know the verses there. Whatever you do to someone or something will come back to you 4 times. Now, that could work both ways. If you do something good for somebody, that'll come back to you 4 times good. If you do something bad to somebody, that will come back to you 4 times worse. So I think if people would just remember whatever they do to somebody or to something, that's going to come back on them eventually. And there are so many examples of that in this that
Okay, Luke
actually happen.
6:8 is the verse you're looking at. Luke 6
Huh?
8. Luke 6:8 is the verse you're looking for. I'm gonna look it up for you while you're discussing. I just want to find what you talk. I knew what you're talking about. I just want to look. I just wanted to find that verse. Oh, I thought it said Luke 6:8. Oh, 6:38. What? Oh, go ahead, Brandon. Keep talking. I'm looking this verse up while you're discussing.
Anything else to say right now?
Okay. Alright, so Luke 6:38, because you're saying 4 times, and I know what you're saying is right. So give, so it's Luke 6:38, give and it will be given to you, a good measure pressed down, shake together, run over, will be for the measure you use, it will be measured to you. You said 4 times, which may be, I thought it was 10 times, but, and that's really irrelevant. I mean, what you said is the main point. Well, also, it's also in Matthew 7:12. Well, there's a few others. Some came back to you. It's felt several verses. Measure back to you, Matthew 7, those golden rules. Everything you do to others, you will have them done unto you. Alright, it doesn't matter how many times. I was just curious. Because I thought it was 7 or 10 times, but it might have said 4. It might have said 4 times. Anyway, that's irrelevant. We don't need to do over that. How many times. It's just like you said, Brenda. Whatever you do to somebody, it's going to come back to you more than what you do to them. Like I said, you said 4 times, and my brain was just like, I thought I said, I'm stewing on something I shouldn't even be stewing over. Because what you said is right. It'll come back to you full time. It'll come back to you, whether good or bad. All right, let's go ahead and continue on. We're going to do this last verse, and then because then we go on to the next section. And since we're kind of cutting it close to time, we're going to go ahead and do this verse here, and then we'll finish it up, finish the rest of it up next week.
Okay. There there are 6 things the Lord hates, e- even 7 that are detestable to him. Haughty eyes, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked schemes, feet that are quick to rush into evil, a false witness who pours out lies, and a person who stirs up conflict in the community. Haughty eyes. Okay, that's sounds kind of intimate here, but uh so I guess he just likes normal eyes, I guess.
Okay. All right. I just my thought right here is, 7, and I just looked up those 7. I want to get Brenda's input, and then I'm gonna give you what I got for the 7. My thoughts on the 7, and then we're going to see what enduring words said, and then we're going to close out with prayer.
Oh, I got heartburn.
So you got anything on this one, Brenda?
Mhm.
Oh, I got heartburn. Oh.
There we go. Okay. All right, we'll look at that in a minute. All right. Well, if you don't have anything, Brenda, um, the 7 I have, and we got haughty eyes on there. I put lust. A lying tongue. I put liars. Hands that shed innocent blood. I put murder. A heart that deceives wicked schemes. I put scamming, and there's many others that you can put for that. Feet that quick to rush into evil. I just put evildoers. A false witness who pours out lies, and person who stirs up conflicts in the community. And I put deceivers. So that's my 7. Now I'm going to go back to each one, and I just want to get what you get at. You already say here haughty eyes, so obviously, Johnny, you said he wants good eyes. What is your what do you think haughty eyes are?
Definition haughty means arrogantly superior and disdain.
Okay,
So it's basically an arrogant person who looks upon people like he's better than them. As you see it,
okay,
his lying tongue. That's somewhat. That's there's no other word to say it. It's just a liar,
okay,
murderer. He did. Yes, that's why he says, "Do not murder in the Ten Commandments." Each word shed blood. That might go back to Cain and Abel,
mm-hmm.
because Abel or Cain shed blood. He shed his own blood. Murdered him, and, and we're supposed to all be brothers and sisters in this. So if that's true, then if somebody murders somebody, they're murdering their own brother or sister, and that's that God hates. Part that devises wicked schemes, just basically, well, Ebenezer Scrooge, or he redeemed himself. I mean, basically, that's all he did was, he never gave anybody an even break, even if they came and asked him for a little more time to pay him than that. Would not he would
Uh-huh.
not give them the feet that are quick to rush into evil. You know, sometimes people are so quick to want to rush right in when somebody tells them something about something, and they don't stop and think about what that might be, that they end up running into something that is evil or something they shouldn't have been doing. Like, well, like
Yep.
teenagers nowadays, they want so much to be accepted that they go along with their peers. Well, sometimes their peers lead them into something that they shouldn't have done to begin with. False witness who pours out lies and a person who stirs up conflict in the community. Huh. When I see that, a false witness who pours out lies, I think of these televangelists
Yeah.
that
That's what I was thinking. I just couldn't think of the word for that. But that's what I was thinking. I was saying false witnesses. I was thinking somebody that's spreading.
not everybody's a Billy Graham, and a lot of them just spew out a lot of things because it sounds good, but it is not true. And I guess in a way, that's why the Bible says, "Don't take what don't take, don't take what man says, but rather test the spirits to see if it's of God, because not everything that's said is wise or fruit." And basically, a lot of those evangelists, they do stir up conflict in the community. One thing they do is they make it difficult for Christians who are living the word because the world sees those televangelists. They see what kind of trouble they're bringing on. And I think that's one reason why the world looks at Christians, in that one word, hypocrite. They view all Christians like that because they look at some of those false witnesses. They, and they just assume all Christians are like that.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm gonna look at the enduring word on this. I'm just gonna read this out, and then we'll go ahead and close out. Um, seven are abominations to him. Solomon listens to these seven sins. Now remember, this enduring word, David Guzik, he uses the King James version, so the wording may be a little bit different. A proud look, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that deceives evil plans, feet that are swift in running to evil, a false witness who speaks lies, one who sows disconcern among brethren. Most of these sins are connected to something we do in or through our body. The eyes have a proud look, the tongue lies, and so on. We are again reminded of what Paul wrote in Romans about presenting the parts of our body, our members, to God for the work of righteousness, not sin. Romans 6:13. The collection of seven sins is also focused on how we treat others. We must honor God and worship Him in spirit and trust. Yet God is also concerned about how we treat others. Each of these are serious sins against another. And for some reason, I keep thinking of the seven deadly sins when it talks about hate seven that are deceitful to him. And I know laziness is on there.
of which sloth is one of them.
Yeah. Because I keep thinking of seven sins, and I'm like, doesn't this pretty much cover all those or most of those?
Yeah, it seems like it.
What are the seven deadly sins? Okay, pride, haughty eyes, greed. Same thing can mean haughty eyes or hands that shed in, or heart that deceives wicked schemes. Lust could also lead in haughty eyes, um, or feet that are quick to rush into evil. Envy, um, a heart that is deceit that shed innocent blood, or heart that runs quickly into evil. Gluttony, um, okay, that one I'm not really seeing there, but okay. Then we got wrath, which can be another one quick to run into evil, and sloth, which is laziness.
No wonder a heart that devises wicked schemes, because people that do wicked schemes, they're basically trying to get more than what they have.
Yeah. So I was
You know,
able to connect six of those, but gluttony is the only one I'm having a hard time connecting to those.
it's like I said, that it could go under a heart that devises wicked
Oh
schemes.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because when people, when people scam other people, it's so that they can get money out of them. Take their money to make themselves richer, and then they just keep
Yep.
doing it. That's gluttony when you just keep doing it.
Oh yeah, I was thinking food wise, but yeah, you're right because there is other gluttony besides food. Okay, that makes sense. So all right, so we was able to connect all seven deadly sins to that. So that's huh. I don't know why, but that's just a thought that came in my head. I'm like, wow, we're literally just talking about the seven deadly sins. And then looking at the seven deadly sins, we literally did cover all seven deadly sins in this.
Yep.
Huh. I'm just sitting here trying to think. Seven deadly sins, I mean, they're in the Bible, but I don't think it's. I don't
Like
know.
listed that way.
Yeah, I don't know if it's listed that way, but I'm just sitting here thinking, wow, we just covered all seven deadly. Are all seven deadly sins listed in the Bible? That's probably my
The
friends.
Bible doesn't list all seven deadly
Okay.
sins together.
All right, so we're going to have to. Brenda, you want to close this in prayer? And I gotta get ahead because I'm pretty sure my friend's here. Yep, he's here. So you want to go ahead and close this in prayer, and then we'll close this thing out real quick.
With this time of spending in your word and discussing it and really learning more about what these verses mean. Help us to really digest them this week and help us to apply them to our lives. Keep us safe and sound and bring us back next Saturday for another Bible study. Keep us. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Yeah, there ain't no way we could have got through the whole chapter today. Just way too much. Just no. See, I gotta watch my words. It was good discussion. I can't say too much. It wasn't too much. It was good discussion. It just sometimes it's just so much discussion that there's no way to get it all done in an hour's time. And
Yeah,
that's where we can't sit here and put God's work on a time frame because if we try to do that, we're going to fail every time.
Yep.
So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and end this here.